guys, Jared from Parker Mount Machine. Today I'm doing an install video for you on our new FN 509 and 509 Tactical oversized magazine wells. Here we have two 509s, 509 Tacticals with both our Duty Series or Standard Series Magwell and the Competition Series. You'll see that in front of each Magwell, whether they be flat dark earth or black, there are two O-rings. The one with less of a curve has a harder durometer. The one with more of a curve has a softer durometer. These come standard with every kit that we ship out, because depending upon the pistol and the polymer, when you install the PMM oversized magwell, the harder durometer might be a little bit too stiff and cause deflection in the polymer, which will stop the magazine from releasing. Alright, so I've got the PMM FN 509 Competition Magwell in my hand. And you're going to notice the O-ring still sitting here on the bench. When looking at the magwell, on the front side of the pistol, you'll see a machined groove. Real simple system, folks. All you're going to do is you're going to take the O-ring that is supplied by PMM and you want to put it into the actual magwell. And what we're looking for is we want to bend this horseshoe in a manner where it's equally distributed along both sides of that machine groove. So if we drew an artificial line right here, we want the ends of the O-ring basically on that artificial line. So I've gone ahead and I've installed the O-ring in the magwell, and by rotating it slowly here you can see that the O-ring is wrapped like a horseshoe inside that machine groove. You can see there's some of the machine groove that's still exposed on both sides of the magwell. Visually I'd say it's approximately 250 thousandths or a quarter of an inch exposed. That groove tapers out, so you're looking for symmetry on both sides. Once you've achieved that symmetry, we're going to go ahead and mount it on the pistol. So I've gone and taken the competition version of our magwell and we've mounted on another 509 pistol for the color juxtaposition between the two. What you want to do is you want to take the magwell, depending upon which backstrap you have, it doesn't really make a difference. You drop the magwell onto the back of the backstrap. So that should seat flush there. When that's seated flush, you want to load up the left side or the right side of the magwell, depending upon what you want to do, and get that side with the O-ring started first. Once that O-ring starts, you simply press it on. Load one side, it's always a little bit easier. Once you get that one side started, the other side will go in. So what we've got here is an example of improper installation of the PMM 509 magwell. And what you can see is the O-ring popping up and protruding past the lower portion of the frame of the pistol on one side, whereas the other side is still sitting in that machine groove and it's sub-flush inside the frame. Real easy way to rectify this: with the magwell on the pistol, you take a flathead screwdriver and we're going to push it down in, being careful not to damage the frame of your pistol. So we're dealing with two different surfaces here. We've got aluminum and plastic, but it's absolutely critical that that O-ring be in that groove. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it's going to put too much tension on the frame of the pistol and the magazine won't drop free. So with this now pressed in with the screwdriver, I should be able to take our regular magazine right now. This is the competition magwell, so it can only use the long extendos. Insert the mag. So it's a little bit too tight right now. So that means the O-ring's not seated properly. If you're running in an issue like this, where you're depressing the mag, and it's partially sticking. It's partially sticking right now. That means the O-ring's not seated all the way. So we're going to go in here, just push this O-ring all the way into that machine groove. A little bit more. Make sure it's pressed in there. Also make sure that once that's pressed in, the front portion of the Magwell is seated all the way down. So you simply press down on it with your hand. So you can see that I've gone ahead and I've installed the PMM oversized Magwell, the competition version, on this pistol here. And we're missing the harder durometer O-ring right now. The softer one remains. Now the reason that I'm pointing this out right now is with the O-ring properly installed and the Magwell properly installed on the pistol, we have an issue here because the O-ring's too hard. It's creating a tension issue on the mag and the frame. You know, it locks in, but it's not allowing it to drop out freely. So what we're going to do, simply going to pull the Magwell off. Well, it's not simple because it's hard. Pop that off, and we're going to replace it with the softer durometer. I'll go ahead and put that in now. I've now pulled out the harder durometer O-ring section and replaced it with the softer one. Lift the pistol. Magazine now drops free. Still plenty of tension where this is held onto the frame. So that's something that you need to consider during the installation process of your PMM oversized Magwell for the FN 509 and 509 Tactical. We always suggest starting with a harder durometer O-ring because that has more bite on the actual frame. But if you're experiencing a mag drop issue or mag drag issue is what it is because of the deflection of the frame, you go to the softer O-ring, repeat the installation process, and verify that the magazine falls out of the pistol. This is an empty mag, so there's no mass on it. Locks in place, slides locked open, drops forward, or with it locked back, mag drops free. Alright guys, I just want to touch on a point here again real quick. Regardless of whether you use the harder or the softer durometer O-ring, it's absolutely critical that the O-ring be installed in the machine groove of the Magwell uniformly, meaning across a artificial plane here. And more importantly, that O-ring is sitting in the machine groove of the Magwell. It cannot be up out of the groove and pinched in between the frame. That's going to create an artificial load on the actual frame of the pistol where the magazine goes into, and it's going to cause failures for the magazine to drop. So when you're looking at this with it properly installed, you should be able to see the machine surface of the O-ring groove showing on the rear. Remember I talked about in the beginning 1/4 of an inch approximately, so 1/8 of an inch worth of that machine slot still showing. And then you can see the O-ring here. If it's easy to pick up on the camera, I don't know. And that should be uniform on both sides. Worst case scenario, if it's not, pop the Magwell off, do a reinstall. Alright guys, I want to talk about a small detail with the installation process here again. Right now this competition Magwell has a softer durometer O-ring sitting inside of it. You can see that it's actually pressed into the machine groove. As I talked about earlier in the video, you want to put the rear of the Magwell on, and you want to favor one side of the O-ring first, visually looking at it, and you'll see the O-ring start on one side of the pistol frame. Once that starts, if you have to, with holding it like this, your flathead screwdriver can be really helpful here. If the O-ring starts to push out of the groove when you're pushing the Magwell on, you can use the flathead screwdriver to keep it in the groove. And furthermore, you can push the Magwell partially on, and you can see that the O-ring is deflecting. Alright, so what we've got here is an issue where the O-ring is partially seated in the machine groove, and it's getting pushed out around the Magwell, or the factory Magwell on the pistol. So what we're going to do is, as we push this down, we want to use our flathead screwdriver to push that O-ring be on the edge of the pistol frame as we push the magwell all the way on and seat it. Once it's seated, you can go in there with a flathead screwdriver again and just go around the perimeter. Make sure no O-ring is bulging in between the actual magwell itself and the polymer frame. And then lastly, of course, make sure it's fully seated on the rear, fully seated on the front, and then do your mag drop catch again. The other thing that I want to talk about with the O-ring is you can trim your O-rings down. Essentially what we're looking for is an engagement around the U portion of the front of the magwell. The portion of the O-ring that's visually seen between the magwell and the frame of the pistol can be clipped away. And clipping away some of that excess O-ring makes it easier for the O-ring to actually sit between the frame of the pistol and the magwell itself. So that's another thing to keep in mind. If you cut the O-rings too short, we'll have these on the website in abundance. As people want to take them on and off the pistol anyways, it's going to wear out over time. The other thing too is once this is initially installed, what we found here at PMM, once it sits on the pistol for a day or two, the rubber will actually set up and it conforms to the actual frame of the pistol. So it becomes an even stronger bond in there. But like I said, after initial installation, you just got to make sure that the mag's dropping free. This is another competition magwell with a bulging back strap, softer durometer O-ring in it because this frame was actually deflecting a little bit, so we couldn't use the harder one, but we got the mags dropping out freely here now, so good to go.